What are some of the best conferences for podcasters? Whether you're just starting out, you're launching soon, or you've been at this for a while, today I'm going to share with you some of the best conferences you can attend as a podcaster. So let's get right to it. Hey y'all, Krystal here, and today I'm going to share with you some of the best conferences for podcasters. Some of these are specific to only podcasters that are going to be attending, and some of them are just ones that I feel so passionate about that if you are in podcasting, then you are probably doing some sort of business, whether your podcast is your business or you're an entrepreneur using your podcast to grow your business and using it as a marketing strategy. All of these are relevant and all of these are just so much fun. So let's dive right in. So the first conference I want to share with you today is PODFEST. Now, as you can tell from the name, this is going to be for podcasters or people that are in the online marketing space, possibly looking to get into podcasting. It is a 3-day event that is this year in 2020 going to be held in Orlando. I had to turn around and look at my screen to make sure I said this right because there are lots of conferences I'm sharing here with you today, and I want to make sure that I get the information correct. That way, if you are wanting to attend, you can check them out. But it is actually an organization that started to connect podcasters. That's really what it's all about. There are networking opportunities, amazing keynote speaking, and there are some really cool organizations that are part of the vendor group there. So if you have some time available in March, if you are available, then I suggest you go check out PODFEST because it looks like a fantastic time. I will not be attending PODFEST this year only because it is our spring break and we already had a trip planned with the family, but I have it on my radar to participate next year, and I'm excited to hear about all the cool takeaways that attendees are going to have from participating this year. Another podcasting conference that I was excited to learn about was Texas PodCon. I wasn't able to attend this in 2019 because, again, I was out of town. Actually, I just got back from a different conference, so I was back, but I wasn't able to attend because I found out about it last minute, which hurts me because this is in San Antonio, y'all, and I live in Houston. It is not that far away, but I'm looking forward to what the group is planning for 2020. I hope that it's going to be something really exciting because I believe that the Texas podcasting industry is exploding, and I know that people love to come to Texas, especially San Antonio. It is a great tourist area, and I hope that Texas PodCon is planning on doing more conferences like this in the future for the Texas podcasting community. The next conference I want to talk about, number 3, is She Podcast Live. And now this was such an amazing organization that I stumbled upon last year. Jessica Kupferman and Elsie Escobar, they run a fantastic production of their podcast and their She Podcast organization. And I just support everything that these ladies are doing. And you can actually check out my interview with Jessica Kupferman here and make sure that you check it out in the show notes of this episode because it was fantastic. It was so much fun to get to chat with her, but digging more into it, what is She Podcast? It is an organization that supports female podcasters. Now, as a female podcaster, this is exactly the type of organization that I was looking for. Nothing against the guys. Shout out. Y'all are doing fantastic things, but us ladies like to hang out together. So I loved stumbling upon the She Podcast Live event, and I hope to attend this year. I don't have all the details, but I'm putting the link here. That way you can make sure and check it out in the show notes and see if you are able to attend because I watched everything on Insta stories and saw fantastic things happening from people doing in-person interviews, people doing headshots, and they even had mermaid hair. I was like, what is this? But it looks fantastic. It looked like so much fun. So I'm excited to see what She Podcast does in 2020. The next podcast conference I want to talk about is Podcast Movement. This is something that's super exciting. So Podcast Movement, the organization, has actually split their conferences into 2 separate conferences this year. They're going to have one called Podcast Movement Evolutions. That is going to be in LA earlier in the year. And then they're going to have their main podcast movement event in Dallas in August. This is the one that I'm planning to attend because I live in Texas and I know exactly where this hotel is, and it's not too far from some of my family, and it's still in the middle of the summer. So I can take my family, like we can visit family, we can hang out, but I can also get some good podcast networking going on. I can meet some new people, and I'm just really excited because there's a lot of people that are attending this conference, and I'm actually going to get to meet them in person, shake their hand, hug their neck, take all the selfies, like do all the things that we do at these conferences. And I'm really excited. So check out Podcast Movement if that's something that you think you'd like to. And guys, I'm going to be there. So if you're going to be there, give me a shout out, hit me up. That way we can make sure and take a picture together. So the fifth conference I want to talk about is Sports Pod Con. So this is a conference I had no idea even existed, but I should because I have 3 boys. 2 of them like to game and they like to they love sports, they love the e-games, and that is what this conference is devoted to. They're devoted to the gamers and the esports people and people that have podcasts specifically about sports. So Sports PodCon is something that's coming up in March, and I think that you should check it out if that's what your podcast, like that's the genre, I can never say that word, that's the category that your podcast is a part of. You should definitely check out Sports PodCon because that's where your people are. You need to go hang out with them because it's a great place to network and to get to know other people in the industry, to collaborate and really get that just that camaraderie of other people doing some of the similar things that you're doing with your podcast. So make sure that you go check that out in the show notes. The next podcast conference I'm excited to tell you about is the Spark Christian Podcast Conference. This year in 2020 is the inaugural event. I always say that wrong too, but is their very first event. And it is actually here in Houston, like 10 or 15 minutes from my house. So I'm super excited. I'm going to be speaking at this event. So if you are able to come, then I am so excited. Please leave in the comments below or let me know on social media that you're going to be there in attendance because I'm so fired up. This is going to be the first time I'm speaking at a podcast only conference. I mean, you don't have to have a podcast in order to attend, right? Like you can be in the creation stages, but this is the first time I'm speaking at a conference devoted to podcasting, and I am super excited. If you're coming, I'm hoping to blow your mind. I'm going to be talking about launching a podcast and some of the strategies that you can use in 2020 and beyond. So I am super pumped. Make sure you check out in the links in the show notes to register for this event because it's going to be so much fun. And I just know the organizer, Misty, she has been working her buns off to make this such an amazing conference, and you're going to get so much out of it. So Spark Christian Podcast Conference is going to be so much fun, and I cannot wait to see you there. So now we've covered podcast conferences that are devoted to mostly podcasters, but now I'm going to cover a few of the ones that you should consider attending even if you don't have a podcast or you're looking for something that's not just for podcasters, but a collaboration of people who could be into podcasting, or where you would find podcasters, or where your ideal audience could possibly already be hanging out. And that one is FlynnCon. So this is Pat Flynn's conference. He did his first inaugural conference last year, and I'm sure there are a lot of aspects about podcasting that he's going to talk about because, come on, he is the master of podcasting and it is what he has been doing for so long. But if you don't know this about Pat, then he has his smart passive income business. That is what he does, and he does this so well. So at his conferences, I'm sure that you can expect a high level of engagement, lots of fun, and tons of value when it comes to everything in the online marketing space. So make sure you check out FlynnCon as another conference you should consider attending in 2020. Another conference that I think that you could find tons of value being in the online marketing space is Social Media Marketing World. This is where everybody in the online space kind of collaborates and they all kind of jump in the different aspects. So if you have an online business, this might be the best conference for you to attend because it's kind of a melting pot of everything. You have Facebook experts and Instagram and YouTube and TikTok and all the places that people show up online. This is the place where everybody kind of melds together and they come together as one and they just support each other and they have such amazing information. I watched a lot of the live broadcasts that they did last year. Holy moly, y'all. I didn't even go. I wasn't there in person, and I received so much value from watching some of my mentors from that stage do awesome things. So check out Social Media Marketing World if you are in the online space and you are looking to grow your business, or you're just looking to collaborate with other people who are like-minded individuals like yourself. And this next conference is, well, I guess one of them could be for the ladies and one of them is for the ladies and the fellas. But I want to recommend you attend a Rise conference by Rachel Hollis. It's actually the Hollis Company. That's what I should say. She's mostly the star of the show, but I know her husband Dave has really stepped in and they both do this collaboratively and they run these conferences. I went to Rise last year and it blew my mind. It was so incredible. I was not able to go to Rise Business because it didn't work out with my schedule, but I'm planning to attend Rise Business in Austin this year. I think it's going to be a fantastic place to network with other people. The Rise conference is for women, not entrepreneurs. It's just women, like any woman that wants to find some motivation. So if that is your, I always say genre, I'm going to say it wrong. If that is your audience, women, then this is a great place to find some motivation, inspiration, and collaborate and network with other people they just want to live a better life. That is really what they are about. Like being inspired, being motivated, lighting your heart on fire to be the best version of yourself. So if that is something that's up your alley, then I suggest checking out the Rise and the Rise Business conferences. And last but certainly not least, I want to give a shout out to Amy Porterfield's Entrepreneur Experience. Oh my gosh. So of all the things that I did in 2019, this is the one that had the most impact on me. Of some of the conferences that I attended, there was some great networking and like other things that took place that were super transformative in my life and in my business, but this one had the most impact on me. So if you want to see what that's all about, then make sure you check out this video right here where I actually show you like what it was like. I went through the entire experience of the entrepreneur experience and I shared everything. There's a lot of behind the scenes and I'm so pumped up for the entrepreneur experience this year. I think it's going to be even bigger and better and just so much fun. So make sure you check that out here. But one of the biggest takeaways is just the ability to network with other people that are just like me. So I'm an entrepreneur. I am constantly trying to find out ways that I can have deeper connections with my audience, make bigger goals a reality for me, and to just grow and scale over time. But bottom line is I just want to get better. I just want to get better so I can show up and serve you in a much better way, in a bigger way, and have a bigger impact with everything that I'm trying to do here with this podcast channel and just my business and everything overall. This was an incredible experience. So it's definitely rings true to the name Entrepreneur Experience with Amy Porterfield. So make sure you check it out. So I want you to put a comment below and tell me which podcast conference sounds like the one that you want to attend more than the rest of them. Because I know you're sitting here and you're listening to these choices and you're like, oh, that one sounds amazing. Tell me in the comments below because I'm curious to see which one you're thinking about attending. Okay, let's get back to the video. So I hope you found value in all these conferences we talked about here today. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. Hit subscribe below. That way you don't miss any future podcasting videos that we put out every single week. Make sure you sign up for the free 5-day Create Your Podcast Bootcamp and check out these other videos right here that are all about podcasting and they're all going to add value and help you and do all the things. So remember, keep it up. We all have to start somewhere.